Good evening, you are watching RENEWS in English. I'm Sona Tumanyan. Today, the Prime Minister of Armenia departed for Brussels on a working visit to meet with the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, and the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. The Prime Minister had met with the same group exactly 2 months ago in Tirana to discuss the importance of mutually accelerating the visa liberalization process. Prime Minister Pashinyan described the meeting as productive and noted that he had an extended conversation with the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, and the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. Let's also hear the reaction from the other two sides of the trilateral meeting.
It is good to see you in Brussels again, dear Nicole Pashinyan. You have shown Armenia's deep commitment to peace and stability. Our ties are closer than ever. The European Union's resilience and growth plan is a strategic investment in Armenia's future.
We highly appreciate Armenia's efforts to ensure stability in the South Caucasus, particularly its continued engagement in peace negotiations with Azerbaijan and its steps towards normalizing relations with Turkey.
Reactions to the Pashinyan-Aliyev meeting are still fresh. 3 days after the meeting in Abu Dhabi, the President of Turkey had a phone conversation with the President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who this week hosted a nearly 4-hour meeting between the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan. Erdogan stated that Ankara is closely following the peace negotiations between Nikol Pashinyan and Ilham Aliyev and will continue to support efforts to ensure stability in South Caucasus. The Turkish president also spoke with his counterpart, the Sheikh, about the disarmament of the Öcalan-led Kurdish militants, asserting that this is an important step to completely eliminate terrorism from the agenda of Turkey and the entire region. Azerbaijan will soon begin supplying gas to Syria via Turkey. The agreement was reached during the visit of Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara to Baku. Aliyev received the head of Syria's transitional government. The president of Azerbaijan said that with the establishment of the new government in Syria, great opportunities have opened up to expand bilateral relations. Samvel Karapetyan, the founder of Tashir Group of Companies, who has been detained for 2 months, has submitted an application to open a new party in Armenia. It is about the new principal political force that will act on its own path. We will do it on our way, wrote Karapetyan. It was this very phrase that in essence had become the reason for his detention. He also stressed that they do not rule out cooperation with other political forces and aim to reject the black and white divisions.
Dear compatriots, our very first rally confirmed the main fear of the authorities. Our people are confident that they are strong and they will not be broken by repressions. I want to once again thank the tens of thousands of my compatriots who have shown civic courage on July 4th and to this day. I am also sincerely grateful to all those who expressed their support for me. My message has been much discussed these days, but unfortunately various interpretations detached from reality were also made. I believe I expressed myself very clearly. We are going to create a principally new political force. I have great respect for the political forces and figures who to this day have waged a real struggle against the policies of Nikolai Pashinyan's anti-national government. But we have our own vision for building a good future for Armenia, and we will go our own way, with our new team, not ruling out domestic political cooperation with like-minded people. We will try to unite our people around just and great goals. We will reject the black and white and other artificial divisions that these authorities have imposed upon society, dividing and weakening our country. Even within the various circles of today's administration, there are true professionals working who do not share the values of the small clique, but do not yet see the path they would consider a way out of the current situation. The formation of our political team has begun. We will do it our way.
People from Artsakh have gathered at the government building demanding that the executive branch address the collective return of the people of Artsakh, the protection of the rights of people from Artsakh in Armenia, their social problems, as well as the issue of the release of captives. The executive branch proposed that a few of the really participants come into the government building for a discussion. Representatives of the Council for the Protection of the Rights of the People of Artsakh accepted the offer. After the meeting with government members, Apres Markaryan, a member of the Council for the Protection of the Rights of the People of Artsakh, announced that they are ending the sit-in, leaving the Artsakh representation and will work in a different format. On the other side of the protest at the government building, the president of the National Assembly, Alain Simonian, who is in France in a conversation with his French counterpart, drew his attention to the problem of captives and illegally detained persons in Azerbaijan, also stressing the importance of the issue of missing servicemen. The conversation countered on topics related to the Armenia-France and Armenia-European Union agendas. In Paris, Simonian participated in the plenary session of the 15th session of the Parliamentary Assembly of Francophonie. Let's move to the field of Russian-Ukrainian relations. Russia is ready for a third round of negotiations with Ukraine. The press secretary of the Russian President Dmitry Peskov announced during a briefing. At the same time, Kyiv is clearly not in a hurry, Peskov noted. Meanwhile, Trump's special envoy Keith Kellogg has arrived in Kyiv. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Trump's special envoy have already met. I thank President Trump for the important signals of support and for the positive decisions for our two countries. We appreciate the support of the American people, the President of Ukraine wrote on his social media pages.
Дякую за те, що назвав мене.
Lavrov also had a meeting speaking with Kim Jong-un. Lavrov expressed thanks for the participation of North Korean troops in the liberation of the Kursk region. Earlier, the chief of the Russian General Staff had confirmed that North Korean soldiers have participated in the combat operations underway in the Kursk region. To all this, let's add Putin's statement. After the collapse of the USSR, the West wanted to gain a geopolitical advantage over Russia. It became clear to Russia that it would not be taken into account until it declared itself a sovereign power capable of protecting its future, he stated. The Russian president also addressed his 2007 speech at the Munich conference, describing it as made at the right time but unheard.
We simply cannot live any other way. Russia will either be independent and sovereign, or it will not exist at all. And this is what I wanted to convey to our partners, hoping that they would listen and somehow change their attitude towards Russia.
France has announced a historic agreement with New Caledonia, according to which this overseas territory affected by separatist violence last year will remain part of France but will be granted the status of a new state. The agreement signed last year must still be approved by parliament and confirmed by a referendum. It is noteworthy that Azerbaijan actively interfered in the New Caledonia riots, a topic we'll discuss in our upcoming projects. Meanwhile, new tensions is brewing in Turkish-Iranian relations after Erdogan referred to Iranian cities as Turkic centers. More details from the international newsfeed are in our video roundup.
U.S. President Donald Trump has again declared his intention to supply Patriot anti-air systems to Ukraine, and that European countries will pay for them. We will send them Patriots, which they need badly because Putin has surprised many. He speaks smoothly, and in the evening, he starts bombing everyone, Trump said, adding that America will receive the full price for the weaponry. He promised to make his important announcement about Russia on Monday. The NATO Secretary General has traveled to meet with Donald Trump. Mark Rutte will also negotiate with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, as well as members of Congress. Rutte and Trump's last meeting was at the end of June during the NATO summit in The Hague, where alliance members agreed to increase defense spending. Russian and Chinese foreign ministers Sergei Lavrov and Wang Yi discussed relations with the U.S. on the settlement of the Ukrainian crisis. The talks took place in Beijing, where Lavrov had arrived to participate in the session of the Council of Foreign Ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The diplomats expressed satisfaction with the level of Russian-Chinese cooperation. Azerbaijani citizens were involved in the murder of Colonel Ivan Voronich of the Security Service of Ukraine in Kyiv. The editor-in-chief of the Censor publication reported that the murder was carried out by Hakan Gulalizadeh and Narman Guliyeva. Voronich's body was found with 5 gunshot wounds. The Azerbaijani accomplices were later eliminated. On Sunday, shots were fired at the Richmond Road Baptist Church in the state of Kentucky. According to CNN, there are dead and wounded. A police officer stopped a car near the airport whose driver opened fire on him and fled the scene. The shooter then arrived at the church and opened fire on the worshippers. 2 women were killed and 2 men were wounded. Bitcoin has set a new all-time high, surpassing $119,000. On July 13, the value of the cryptocurrency reached $119,216. Over the past month, its exchange rate has increased by 12.9%. Experts attribute Bitcoin's growth to Donald Trump's initiatives aimed at developing the crypto market and the interest shown by other countries. Meanwhile, since the beginning of the year, the exchange rates of most other cryptocurrencies have decreased by 30 to 50%.
A jewel of the Armenian culture, the Golden Apricot Film Festival kicked off yesterday. The festival opened with a simple incident, a film by one of the symbolic figures of Iranian cinema, Jafar Panahi. Last year, the director participated in the Golden Apricot for the first time after 40 years of house arrest and imprisonment. Among the stars of Iranian cinema, Amir Naderi and Oscar-winning Armenian actors Vache Tovmasyan and Karen Karagulyan are also on the list of the festival's special guests. My colleague Ani Hovanesyan has captured the Golden Apricot's opening in a single canvas.
For 1 week, Yerevan has transformed into a cinematic capital. The Golden Apricot is a festival not just of films, but of emotions, encounters, and feelings. Walking the red carpet, unfurled in front of the cinema house, are Karen Karagulian and Vache Tovmasyan, who have also walked the red carpets at Cannes and the Oscars. Their film, Anora, won 5 Oscars and the Palme d'Or at Cannes last year.
We talked about today maybe 2 or 3 years ago during filming. We said that day will come when we'll take Anora and go to the Golden Apricot. That's why we're so thrilled. To pay tribute to that immense interest, particularly the one connected to the film Anora, we decided to invite Karen Karagulian and Vache Tovmasyan and have Sean Baker join via video link.
This year, the 22nd Golden Apricot International Film Festival has brought more than 10 films from the Cannes, Berlin, Venice, and Locarno film festivals to Armenia. The list of special guests includes symbolic figures of Iranian cinematography, Amir Naderi and Jafar Panahi. The president of the jury is Mauritanian director Abderrahmani Sissako. He is the first African director in the history of the Golden Apricot.
In my opinion, what a director wants to say through the language of cinema is very important. Cinema is a unique language. I believe we must pay attention to the language of cinema. It's very important because it conveys emotion, and emotion is crucial for our work.
This year, the Golden Apricot Film Festival is opening with A Simple Story, a film by one of the symbolic figures of Iranian cinematography, Jafar Panahi. The film is often compared to the works of Samuel Beckett for its surrealistic humor, while also being dramatic. Minutes before the film's screening, Panahi took the stage and presented Amir Naderi with the Parajanov Thaler Award for the director's significant lifetime achievement in world cinema. After the film, the assessments were more than just admiration.
They're comparing the realism in this film to Anora. I liked it a lot. It was a very simple, direct, and powerful film. The director leaves it to the audience's discretion to decide how the film ends.
Прошло всего лишь 10 минут, где-то, может, 15.
Only 10, maybe 15 minutes had passed. During the last 20 minutes, my heart started to beat very fast. I've seen many films about revenge, about that feeling, that uncertain, gnawing feeling from within, but I have never seen a film so delicate and sensitive.
Panahi was imprisoned in Iran for 14 years. For nearly 2 decades, he was banned from making films. But how his secretly shot film reached Cannes and won an award is a fantastic story worthy of its own movie. Panamahi's film, titled This Is Not a Film, reached Cannes on a USB drive hidden inside a cake and smuggled across the Iranian border.
Panahi's presence, once again in the form of a film at this festival, sets a very high bar. It reaffirms the standard that has been set.
The Golden Apricot has become one of the major landmarks of the cinema festival season. This year we have plenty of films, including 12 films with a French participation. Often in cooperation with Armenia.
Starting today, premieres from world-renowned festivals will be on Yerevan's big screens. There will be masterclasses for actors and meetings with directors. The celebration of cinema will continue for 1 week.
A continuous return to her roots, Kim Kardashian received a new book on the history of Armenia as a gift, which she then posted in the story section of her Instagram.
Huge copy, and it has all of the history of Armenia inside, and it has all of the treaties and land grants and all of the maps and religious documents and all the agreements that are so prominent in the Armenian culture. This is all in Armenian, but I just thought it was so cool. And then this is the encyclopedia that is now, I think, for sale, that really explains everything in English about what happened and just all of the Armenian history. So important and so cool.
And And let's end with a football victory. London's Chelsea with a 3-0 victory over the champion of France, Cup winner and Champions League winner Paris Saint-Germain has won the title of Club World Champion. The award was presented by Donald Trump along with the president of FIFA. For more updates, follow us on YouTube, Telegram, Instagram, X, and Facebook. Daily news and full coverage are available on our official website. I am Sona Tumanya. Stay informed with RENEWS.